Oh hey, what's up everyone? It's your girl Xay Anais, and obviously you're watching Xay Anais. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not so new here, welcome back. And yes, this is the first video. Like I was gonna come with something else, right? But yeah, that just didn't work out how I wanted it to, because I thought in my head that I would at least have six ish. I don't know why 6 7 came to mind, but about six videos already out. But happy new year. For those of you who know me, my new year usually starts in like February. January for me is typically a very slow month. But yeah, let's get into it, because first of all, I'm at church 7 o'clock. I need to be out this house by 7:30. It's 7:02. But I thought it would be cool to do a little reintroduction, to introduce myself to some new people, and to get a refresher to those who are you know oldies but goodies. And yeah, because I feel like I haven't done this in a long time. So who am I right now? Because I feel like over time you change. I'm wearing Japanese cherry blossom. I think over time you do change, and these these questions are very much blind questions, and um, as I answer, they're just gonna be very much raw and unfiltered. But who am I right now? I would say I am a person who has grown. I am a person who has, who knows herself more than I have ever known myself. I'm a person who knows what she wants, but is also getting out of that imposter syndrome phase, also getting out of that phase where I think that I'm not good at what I do, because I am good at what I do. And I think apart from being sick last year, I think one of the things that didn't push me as far as I wanted to go was that fact. Imposter syndrome, feeling like I didn't belong in a sense. I know I belong, but that's what it felt like, right? So going forward, we're gonna do it scared, we're gonna do it nervous, we're gonna do it all of those things, right? Because I know my name means one who's great. For those of you who know my actual name, it's very close to what my channel name is, but not exactly. A lot of people think my name is actually Xay. It's not Xay, it's actually Zainab. So that is my name reveal for today. So who am I right now? I'm somebody who's going to go after everything she wants in this world, and you should too. So next on the list is, how would I describe this current season of my life in one word, and why? That's a good one. Let us see. The current season of my life in one word. In one word. Ooh. The word that comes to mind is resilient, or resilience, but also growth. And I said one word, but like I feel like there's so much growth that has happened, and in everything for me, like in how I dress, in how I handle business. I'm not perfect. For those of you who don't know, I do run a business. In how I interact with people, just my mindset. Like right now, my brain chemistry is being changed on so many levels, and I can't wait to reveal why. Not in this video, but I can't wait to reveal why that is so. But yeah, my brain chemistry is totally being changed. But I guess the overall would be growth, now that I'm airing it out. um and you heard the why. So the next question is, What has changed most about me since I last showed up consistently on YouTube? So for those of you who may not have known me, like from the OG days when I just started YouTube, it was mostly beauty, hair, um, makeup and mayhem. Oh my gosh, makeup and mayhem was such a time, such a time. But since then, I have, you know, entered into new spheres. I have graduated university. um well, I would have updated you, not there would have been a vlog about that. I would have um what else would I have done? I would have gone and worked at a 9 to 5 for almost 2 years. I would have been burnt out for approximately a year. Then I would have been sick, still kind of sick. I do have an ECG and an echocardiogram to do. I would have been sick from 2024, well, from like the end of 2024 till now. And last year I decided, like, okay, I am going into full-on business, and I wanted to become a serial entrepreneur. That didn't work out exactly how I wanted it to be, because I'm still in the process of launching my content marketing business, which is digitalizing, because I have to work with my body. I just got over the flu, which lasted about like 2 weeks for me. It was really horrible. I have not been this sick in like forever, right? So yes, I would not have been this sick in like forever. And honestly, it was horrible. Imagine being sick, and then on top of that, of being sick, you're already sick with a possible chronic illness, and you're like, oh my gosh. So like everything was so heightened for me during that. But thank God for the people who are there for you, who support you. You know, could not have, I'm sounding like I was dying. Maybe I was, but you know, the point is I was sick and everything. So what has completely changed? What is the growth like? Um, I feel like the content is gonna be that I'm bringing is gonna be more in depth. As a person who has her bachelor's in marketing, you know, I it's more targeted. It's gonna be more fun too, because like I feel like before I wanted to make everything pretty and I wanted everything to be, you know, perfect, and life is not about that, and people typically resonate with what they can relate to, you know, not necessarily perfection, but more so real life relatability. And that's what I literally want to bring more of. So yes, you're gonna get the travel content, but you're gonna get more of how I navigate life as a Christian, as an entrepreneur, as a friend, as someone who loves to travel, as someone who loves fashion, as someone who is into fitness. Like how did I get my fitness results, things like that. That's what I'm trying to bring. You know, how do I always smell good? How can you, you know, live within a budget, like ball within a budget, you know, because a lot of people think I'm rich, and that's not so, baby. You see, especially running a business, the amount of capital that goes into it, yeah, that's probably another video for another day. But like you're gonna see a bit more changes, more of my personality, more of me, and not just me to be like, oh, I'm bragging, or me for like, you know, because I'm like, I just want you guys to be able to relate to me, and relate in such a way that you feel empowered, that you can do anything that you set your mind to. So that's pretty much what I want for this channel. Like, yeah, what I want. Es lo que quiero. Entonces, the next question is, oh, I kind of answered that question. What do I hope people feel after watching my videos? Empowered. So I do want you to leave with something every video, no matter if it's chisme. Chisme means joke, by the way, guys. If it's, you know, how to pose in pictures. I did do a video like that. I'm gonna update it, because people are like, how do you take your pictures and stuff like that. um yeah, so I'm gonna do some tips and tricks on that. But whatever you do, rather whatever I do on this channel, I want you guys to feel like super empowered. I want you guys to feel like you can do it too, that you can reach where you want to reach to, and that is pretty much my aim. All right, I want you guys to get the real life. I want you guys to know that while you're living in reality, the reality that you want is also achievable, right? So that is one of my main aims for this whole channel, that to show you where I am right now and to bring you to where I want to be. So it's a journey. You're going to be journeying with me, and I'm super excited about that. I want you to feel empowered, whether you are younger than me, whether you are my age, whether you're even older, because it's never ever ever too late. So the next question, my darlings, the next question is, what are my biggest life updates that I'm comfortable sharing right now? I think I touched on some of them a bit. I think I touched on some of them a bit, but the first one is I'm going to have a multi-million-dollar company. So as most of you know, a lot of persons followed me, especially on Instagram or TikTok, because of the content I used to make. And I say used to because I'm tapping back into that. No, I'm tapping back into that in the sense that I'm doing a very sheer look today, guys. I don't even know if this is my color, but I'm tapping back into doing what I used to do. So I do motion graph in terms of my personal content. Obviously for clients it's gonna be different because I have to deliver, right? But I'm tapping back into my creative era, and it's so hard when you're managing a business that you have to also work in, because I don't have a huge team. Big up my current team and the people that I collaborate with, but I don't have a huge team. So it's kind of hard to, like, when it comes to your personal brand, to like navigate all of that while, you know, trying to build a business. But I think my biggest life update right now is, continuing to develop myself as an entrepreneur, and by the end of the year also to develop a few sister companies under my main company, which is Hawk Studios. So you'll hear more about that, because enough exciting think events, think content marketing, think strategy. Yeah, a lot of things. But not to say too much. Any other life updates? I think I mentioned touch a bit on health already, where I was saying that I do have an ECG and an echocardiogram to do. I did do some blood tests last year to see if I have any chronic illnesses. That came back pretty much negative. However, based on what I'm going through, I still need to do a whole heap other test to actually see, you know, what is happening, because stuff are happening. And part of what is happening is that I cannot allow myself to get to a stage where I'm stressed, which is partially why I left my 9 to 5. I'm trying to remember if I did a video of why I left my 9 to 5, but if I didn't, then we'll get into that. I think I'm ready to share. I did sign an NDA. I remember what the NDA says, so I'm gonna have to really think about exactly what I'm sharing. But it's not really bad, but at the same time I don't want to violate that NDA. So I'm gonna look if I find that NDA anywhere, because yeah, your girl ain't getting in no legal trouble. So yeah, there's that. Any other life updates? I guess you just have to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, to follow along on this journey. No, the next question is, what didn't go as planned in the last year and what did it teach me? Last year I had big goals. Remember how I said I was sick? So wasn't able to operate for like a good couple months last year because of how sick I was. But you know, the thing about God is that he does things strategically. um yes, strategically is the word. He does so many things strategically that oh, this is brand new, should I use it? But yeah, God does so many things strategically that, like, for me to complain and, you know, say that, oh my gosh, it didn't go as planned, then I'd be ungrateful, because life did go exactly as planned last year. I got rest. I think I still needed rest. Um, but while I was resting, I was able to, I want to say, still make an income and survive, and I love that for me, and I continue to still make an income and survive. But this year though is going to be all different. This year we are going to be more intentional, and I've started to be more intentional. We're going to be more, you know, we're going to be posting more about work, and when I say we, I mean me. Posting more about my work. But you know, even though life did not go, what's funny is last year was the first year did not I actually did not write any, like, I didn't do a vision board, and I didn't do like big goals. Yes, I wanted to accomplish stuff last year, but compared to this year, what I've done and the previous years, did not happen at all, and that's okay. I'm quite fine with that. I am actually quite fine with that. So life didn't exactly go as planned, but I want to say it went exactly how it was supposed to go. And that is a series here on my channel that I'm going to restart, and I can't wait. If you haven't seen that series, I think I've dropped like 2 or 3 episodes, but we're gonna be back and we gonna be better. Okay, okay, got that. Make sure you write that down. Anyways, so while it didn't go as planned, it went exactly how it was supposed to go. I don't have any regrets about last year. I think God, I just know that wherever you are in life is where you're supposed to be at that given moment, at that given season. I don't think any season is ever wasted and you can't learn from it. So I think that was a learning lesson for me, you know, to slow down, to appreciate the season that I'm in, and to just live, because you may never know. There were so many days that I felt I was gonna die. I remember one day when when I was like really sick last year, when my what you call it, my blood pressure went through the roof. It was crazy. I felt like I was gonna die, but here I am today. And every day you wake up, that means that there is still purpose in you. So yeah, my thing is to live life, love as hard as you can, you know, set your boundaries, yes, but yeah. But what has God been refining or stretching in me lately? Patience, paciencia, que yo no tengo mucho, pero I am learning to really appreciate life more. I'm not gonna bake, guys. I want this look to be real simple, but I'm learning to appreciate life more, in the sense of, you know, as I said, no season is wasted. And then when you reach, there comes a point when you reach, or you see why God has you exactly where he wants you. You know, there actually comes a point, and then you're like, oh, now I actually understand. Now I get it. You understand? So I have been through so many moments like that, where I'm like, when something happens, I don't let it, actually don't let it trouble me. When I make it trouble me, not people, when I make it trouble me. Because the Bible says, do not worry about anything and make tomorrow worry about itself. And since I've taken that up, since I've taken up that mantra, guys, the Lord just been providing, you know, and I have to just big up God, because without him, I mean, yes, I work, yes, I run a business, yes, I make an income, yes, I'm growing as a person, but it wasn't me, and never me. When I say there were countless times, the fatigue, everything, like, made me just, ugh, and then, you know, so I have to thank God for that. But patience would be one of the main things, because I'm the type of girl, I'm very much type A, I'm a very much a go-getter at the same time, so it's very hard for me to rest also. And when I say rest, I mean like having you know, time where like my, like, yes, my body is still, but my mind is still racing, my mind is still worrying, you know. So it was very much hard for me to do all of that. It was very much hard for me to do all of that and to really trust God and to know that, yeah, he's gonna supply all my needs, he's gonna give me the strength that I need, you understand? So that was my main lesson, not just last year but in the past couple years, and I have to be grateful for God. So what fun or random facts about me people don't know? Fun or random? Oh, I play the piano. I don't think I've ever mentioned that online, but well, let me not say I played the piano. I used to play the piano. I used to play mostly church music. I used to play mostly church music, and I also used to dance in Panama. Right now, I guess you could call me the head of the dance ministry at my church, but before that, before I went into dancing for church, I used to dance at my prep school, which was an Instituto de Mandevilla, which is in Mandeville. I used to be in dance club there, and I also, before that, when I was living in Panama, I used to dance for tourists. So it was, the national dance for Panama is Típico, and in Típico, with Típico, the group that I was with, we used to go when the ships disembark, or whatever you call it, or where they dock, and we used to dance. And I think I was the only black girl in my group at the time, you know, and I used to get tips. So there's that. What else, what else is there? Obviously, well, I won't say obviously, but Spanish I would say is my first language, and with it being my first language, sí, yo puedo hablar español, y a veces voy a hablar en español aquí en este channel. ¿Sí? Yes. So there's that. So those are just a few fun facts about me. I think there's so much about me, but like when I said these are blind, and sometimes when like questions come to me like that, it's so hard to think. What 3 things I'm currently obsessed with? Fragrances. A girl love to smell good. The fragrance that I'm wearing today, this is the fragrance that I'm going to be wearing today, which is Eclair. I did use Japanese cherry blossom as a base, you know, but my top notes was gonna be Eclair, so we're gonna smell a little bit flowery and a little bit vanilla-y. So fragrances, I love smelling good. What else am I obsessed with? I'm obsessed with cooking right now, so maybe we'll drop some cooking videos, especially since you guys know I'm into fitness and all of that stuff. What else am I into right now? I am into perfecting my motion graphic skills, so I would love if you could follow me on TikTok, and you could follow me on my channel to see all of the cool videos that I'm about to drop. Follow me on Hawk Studios too, because I may just, you know, be doing some, you know, learning videos how you can upgrade your content too. And I think that's what I'm currently obsessed with. I'm obsessed with other stuff, but it said 3, so okay. I wanted to mention one more fun fact about me. Another fun fact about me is that I can come out here, line up and wear things too, but I do have a barber that I do go to. Cali, big up yourself if you ever watch this. But yeah, that's another fun fact. Last question before I go though, babies, is what's one encouragement I want to leave with anyone who feels behind or discouraged, because I've been there. You know, I mentioned that, you know, I felt like I was, or sometimes I go into that point where I'm like, why did another fun fact just come? I do my own nails too. Don't mind this. I don't know what happened, but I do my own gel X. I'm loving this set. And you can see it on my page in a few days. But yeah, one thing I want to leave with you guys is, well, a few things. Try new things. Don't be afraid to try new things. If you fail, that's fine. That's just a learning opportunity. And if you don't fail, then you've won, right? I also want to encourage you that where you are right now is exactly where you need to be. It's probably a lesson. It's probably a winning season. You may never know what it is. Learn to live in the now while you wait for the future, of course. But don't dwell on the future and you know, let that cripple you. And also put God first in everything, because honestly, without God, we are literally, we're running on fumes. If we can even run, you're gonna see the huge difference that it makes when your life is surrendered to God himself. Such a huge difference. So if you've made it this far in the video, thank you for staying. If you've not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, babies. We have a lot coming in store. And as usual, if nobody yet never tell you, no, my love you know.